I asked you, there's hard evidence.
Free will, he will still know what you're doing. What is it that you don't understand?
But you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Because your choice is already made.
That's
Right?
right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So yeah, over at least 15 years, on and off, I've been coming down here, and I've actually seen the change. You know, it used to be more, I would say, more kind of political kind of debates or speakers or people representing a lot more different diverse areas. But now it's kind of narrowed down and focused more and concentrated more on religion. You have like the atheists, you have the Muslim and the Christians tend to be the predominant speakers here, or the people coming down checking out Speaker's Corner here in London. So I'm here in Speaker's Corner and I'm here with
Abdul.
How did you hear about Speaker's Corner?
I came first time to Speaker's Corner a few years now. I believe first time back in 2008, and I was just passing through here, and I really like the whole concept of it. I just fell in love with it, to be honest. You know, to be able to speak to people from different types of religions, ideologies, and just come here, put my point across what I believe, that what I hold to be dear to me, what I believe in to be the truth, and just to speak to people, try to kind of reason with them to come to the truth. And this is what my religion, Islam, teaches: is to speak to people in the best of manners, to try to invite them to the truth.
So, I mean, do you know about the history of Speaker's Corner?
Vaguely. I mean, I know it's been going on for some 100-200 years. Like, I think it started as some kind of protest against the establishment, and then it just carried on from then on. As far as I know, it's more religious now than it used to be. I think in the early days, more political. It was more political discussions, whereas now it's mainly to do with Christian versus Muslims debates. You still have the odd political issues. The socialists come down here now and then, and the Democrats, the Zionists. We have them, but mainly, it's to do with religion. Well, look, we believe that as Muslims, that the Abrahamic religions like Judaism, Islam, and Christianity all have a common ground, which is that we come from Abraham, and it kind of spread on from his offsprings. So, as Muslims, we believe that what Christians follow, the belief they have, and Judaism as well, is false, because they're not following what they should be following. So, obviously they come down here, as we come down here, to proselytize our religions as best as we can, and let the best man win. Whoever's upon the truth, let the best man win. We will see one day on the Day of Judgment who was right, who was wrong. And what I like about it is that it's civil, it's respectful, as long as there's no violence involved. This is, for me, is the most important thing, that we should respect and tolerate each other, even though we don't agree with each other. That we have some kind of respect, so we don't insult each other. We don't insult each other's beliefs. And as long as it's kept on that level, it's fine, beautiful. I mean, the hecklers, I just try to ignore them as best I can, which is very hard. Sometimes, they're on you like a leech. But, that's the history of Speaker's Corner. You have speakers, you have hecklers. That's just the way it goes, you have to deal with it.
Oh, it goes online. I mean, What do you think about this online presence?
I think it's great. I think it's taken to a different dimension, different level, because people all over the world, most people know about this place, and they really, people come down here. You see people from all across the globe, from the east to the west. They come here just to come to Speaker's Corner, and they tell me that we were watching the videos on YouTube, and they love it because it's a very unique place. I don't think there's any place like this anywhere in the world. It's very unique in that sense. I do make a lot of mistakes when I look at myself. I just watch it to kind of correct myself for next time. you know. But no, I mean, I don't really, you know, go online and check the comments and things like this. You know, I don't like to. I don't. Sometimes I find things I might not like. That's why I'd rather not see it. You know.
So what about, do you have any particular kind of people you like to debate or persons?
Yeah, I mean, I prefer to speak to either atheists or Christians. That's mainly the two ones that I prefer to speak to. I don't like getting into politics. I think it's a waste of time completely. It doesn't get nowhere. But with atheists and other religions, I think that we can get somewhere. We can come to common terms. You know, there's a lot of things that we can agree upon, and I try to find things that we can agree upon. Yeah. So with the atheists, we can all agree that, you know, something don't come from nothing, and most atheists will accept that. And with the Christians, we can both accept that Jesus, peace be upon him, was a great man, and that, you know, we try to follow him as much as we can. And, you know, so just common terms. We all have common grounds. Yeah. So I try to find the common grounds rather than try to find things that divide us. Yeah, because things that divide us, we will never agree on these things. Most of us, at least. Yeah? We will never agree on them. So at least we can agree on things that we do agree on. So try to find the common grounds. Not really, to be honest. I mean, in terms of speakers, to me, like, you know, people that come to the standing podium and things like that. Not really, no. I just come here for myself. You know, I come here to tell people about Islam, why I believe Islam is the truth, and invite them to what I believe to be the truth.
And the other interesting thing is that the other dynamic is that you've got two kind of sets of kind of discussions. You've got this public discussion where someone stands on a stall and stuff,
yeah.
And then you got this discussion which goes on the ground, like over there, which you're heavily involved in, is more the ground discussions. You prefer that intimate one-to-one?
I prefer one-to-one. I believe that you know, it's a lot easier to connect with people when you are in a kind of relaxing environment where there's not a lot of shouting, which, you know, obviously here is part of the fabric. There's a lot of noise and shouting and stuff. But I prefer to have one-to-one with people. I believe when people are in a kind of relaxed state, they tend to be more focused and they tend to be more reasonable and eager to kind of, you know, accept what you're saying. I mean, definitely, many people come here for the wrong reasons. Many people, I would say maybe most people, they come down here just to boost their egos, really. They don't come down here to either promote what they believe or to kind of listen to other people. They really come just to promote their own ego.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, little man. You're working.
Yeah.
You can learn something from everybody.
Come and learn about Islam, by the way. Yeah. Environmentalist, yeah?
Environmental. They start very young down there.
He's preaching about environment. So it's good to see he's doing something positive, you know?
That's the great thing. I mean, look, there's a dynamic down here, a great dynamic of people.
Yeah.
You're getting people from all walks of cultures coming down here. I mean, it's a very unique place in that kind of circumstance.
Absolutely.
I mean, do you have friends who come down here on a Sunday?
I mean, some of my friends, brothers that I know, they don't like this place because they think it's too argumentative. Many people don't like it. They think that, you know, it's not really a suitable place to invite people to Islam. They think that it's better to kind of be in a relaxed, you know, in a kind of public area where people just go about their own day-to-day business. But I like it because I believe that the best way to inform people is indirect invitation. So when I discuss or when I debate with someone that opposes me, I'm not hoping to convince the person per se that I'm speaking to, yeah? But it's really to do with the people around that are listening. Because sometimes when people they stand and listen objectively, they tend to be more receptive to other ideas. And this is from my own experience, I've noticed this, is that indirect dawah, indirect invitation tends to be a lot more effective rather than one-to-one kind of debates. Because one-to-one debates don't really lead nowhere. Because the guy, it's like a boxing ring. He comes into the ring, you know, he's got his guard up, I've got my guard up, you know, I'm not letting go, he's not letting go. You know, so it's not really to do with us convincing each other. It's to do with the people around listening. You know, that's what it is really. At the end of the day, it's to win the hearts of the people.
That's what I wanted to pick up on is you know, the crowds which actually listen to the debates. It looks like I'm not sure personally, but looking online, you know, some people like the feel of the more aggressive arguments rather than finding the ones which are more factual.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is this: that as human beings, we all think different, we act different. We were not created to all think and act the same. So the best thing for us to come close to each other is to discuss, to debate. Because I believe by addressing the elephant in the room, we will come to common terms. We will learn to accept our differences. But if we just, you know, ignore it and just, you know, try to be Humpty Dumpty, you know, hold hands and walk in the park, and this doesn't really solve anything. I mean, you know, we should confront each other's ideas. We should, you know, discuss, and you know, sometimes it gets passionate, but that's good. That's fine. You know, as long as it doesn't get violent, you know, that's what we draw the line, really. You know, as long as there's no violence, we can be passionate about what we believe. That's good.
Very good question. My wife doesn't understand why I come here every Sunday. I think just to be intellectually challenged, to have, to hear the other side, the other point of view, but also to try and express in a logical way your arguments and your standpoint. I know a lot of people don't really listen to each other when they're debating, especially in Speaker's Corner, but it's still quite a challenge, and I do like having to try really hard to put my point of view across. I mean, I don't really like to debate with atheists too much, because I'm not from a scientific or academical background, but I've been learning my own faith. I'm a Muslim, alhamdulillah, and I try and put the knowledge that I've been learning to good use to try and spread the truth, but also to try and challenge others' belief. I think that's quite an important point whenever you come to Speaker's Corner. Always try and challenge. No, I'm still in London, southeast London, but quite far away, just in Kent actually.
In Kent. Yeah. And do you have like a favourite debater of sorts? Someone like Shabir, for instance?
The man I just met, Shabir Yusuf. I've been wanting to meet him for about a good year actually. Every time I come on a Sunday, unfortunately, our lives have conspired against us. But alhamdulillah, today I've met the man, and the man behind the camera as well.
Yeah.
She deserves a lot of credit. But yeah, he's one of my inspirations.
Of people coming down at a specific time, I mean, do you actually come down specifically to catch a person if they, you know, put it up on YouTube and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, definitely today. I've been aware that Shabir is arranging a debate with Jay Smith and his colleagues, and that's been going on for a couple of weeks now, and I'm really glad this Sunday I've been able to make it. But yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons I came today.
Well, Speaker's Corner, I come here to dispel all the myths, all the beliefs, right? All of the once upon a time. There's nothing wrong with it, but when you try to put that over as being the truth, then that's untrue. That's like saying Harry Potter's real. We know that's a fantasy. Our minds run into the world of fantasy. Don't tell me that I'm doomed or I'm damned if I don't believe in your fantasy. So we're left with the truth. That's why I come here to promote. Because the most predictable of human responses is denial. Yes? That's the most predictable. And as an old saying, which goes back to nearly 400 years, the truth will go through three stages. First is ridiculed, violently opposed, and then taken as self-evident. I understand everybody's on the 1 and the 2. They'll eventually get to the 3. Always get to the 3. Yeah? Well, I mean, like, there's a conscious shift. Yeah? I don't know whether you know about the galactic cycle, the solar cycle. Every 6,000 years, the solar system passes through different ages. The moon cycle, the sun cycle, the same amount of seasons passing through different galactic seasons. And now we're moving into the sun cycle, the consciousness is starting to wake up. People are starting to know who they are. People who don't know who they are trying to find themselves through all these religious factors. Yes? Oh, is Islam the right way? Is Christianity the right way? There's only 4 choices, right? But the ultimate choice is to, as Michael Jackson said, turn around, stop looking out there, look at the man in the mirror. That's where all the answers lie. No, I'm not going to find it through him, through me, through anybody else. You're only going to find it through your own experience. The absolute truth in everything is your own experience. Nobody else's, just yours. No, because most people now, run away now. Yeah, most of the renowned speakers, because we've debated, I've looked at their argument, and they end up clutching straws. That's not me boasting, that's just a matter of fact. Right? If I challenge, every week I'm here, my debates are on YouTube, people see me and they turn the other way, they don't want to debate. Especially when they have a little crowd around them, because they're trying to get their YouTube channel up, rated, etc., etc. So there's no one I really want to debate. Most people that I debate with, not even debated, I just open their eyes to themselves. Because the discovery is yourself, it's nobody else. Well, it has to, because people that haven't been to Speaker's Corner before, that media outlet is now drawing people here. Yeah, everybody has a voice. Now who do you speak to? Do you speak to colleagues at work? No. Do you speak to your family? No. You have to come to a collective group where everybody's doing the same thing. Yeah, and that's why people are joining it. And the social outlet makes people more aware this is what's going on. Anybody wanting to debate with me, I'm here. Yeah? I'm here at Speaker's Corner. If you think I'm telling a lie, if you think I'm not saying the truth, come and meet me. Let's have a nice people chat and tell me that I'm wrong. Don't slag me off. The comments I don't even read. I don't read comments. Yeah? Mayweather, which is my nickname down here. Yeah? Mayweather don't read the comments. We don't read comments. We're reading comments. You're always going to get haters. Yeah? That's how it goes. It doesn't matter, because the truth will always be the truth. They might ridicule, but think of it like this. Think of it like when you tell a girl she's fat. She might look at you and slag you off, cuss you out, everything. What happens? She goes home, says to her people, do you think I'm fat? Do you think I'm fat? It's an injection of the truth, whether you want to deny it or not. Right? And once I've told, the danger of speaking to me is, once I've told you the truth, it's like an explosion. Slowly it's going to explode and manifest within you. And you're going to come to the bit on the first bit, which is the self-evident part. First you're ridiculing me, violently opposing me, and now you're going to be into that self-evident zone, where you're going to discover it yourself, because it's all about self. No. Some people are trying to get to the status, whether they be Islam, they're trying to get to a Imam status, they want to get to a rabbi status, they want to have a following, they want to open up forums and people follow them. They're not really after the truth, they're after being popular. So which is why they don't debate with me, because, especially on camera, because I'm going to either break down the Quran to show that it's a man-made document, the Bible, man-made document. Everything has been created by the ego of men. There's nowhere in any religious book where it says all for God. No, it says all for man. So where's these men that are prophesying to say, I know it all? How come he knows and everybody else knows? 7 billion people on the planet. Why would the creator, if there's one, go to one man? Now, if I've got a message to tell to 7 billion people, I tell 7 billion people to do all things. There's no point finding a man in a cave to tell him the story. Or putting a man up in Mount Sinai in front of a burning bush. Why did I park him off by himself? The whole crowd is there. Why don't I have the whole burning tree and show everybody my message? It doesn't quite play out. And it doesn't play out because you're working on the ego of man. Everybody wants to be popular, right? And this whole religious thing is created through a lack of self. A lack of knowledge of self, a lack of confidence within oneself, right? And a lack of knowledge. That's all it is. The last words I have is to know thyself. That's it. You see that energy flow? It never disperses. Energy will always be here. The energy of my ancestors, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, these are all our ancestors. That energy never stops, because the truth is the truth. Those people are speaking the truth, so we're here to reformulate it. Yeah, it would never hide. People will try to bury it, but burying the truth is like having an apple in water, and you're trying to hold it down. That's not its natural state. Let go of it, it floats to the top. That's the truth.
We are all the same people, but they create divisions that keep us divided and fighting amongst each other. If we're not fighting each other because one is Muslim, one is Jew, or one is Christian, We're fighting each other because one is black, one is brown, one is yellow, one is red. Nonsense! And whilst we fight each other, the system fucks us all. We are all victims of a system, a maniacal system, which aims for global domination.
I don't try to take any particular position. I just try and take a position as a cameraman and kind of report on what goes on down here. And there's a lot of interesting debates on religion, political, and also just general kind of debates covering a lot of interesting topics. There's mental health going on over there as well. And I find it really interesting to come down here on a Sunday just to listen to some of the debates, even meet up with people and talk and chat about general things in life and current affairs here in London.
You touched upon the how it used to be 15 years ago when you first came. What do you know about Speaker's Corner, how it was invented? What were the reasons behind it?
Well, it's really interesting because only quite recently I just thought, well, maybe I should look into the history of Speaker's Corner because I wanted to do this, kind of documentary about this area, and I wanted to find out a bit more about it. And I was surprised to find out some really famous people who used to come down here and speak, like George Orwell, Marcus Garvey, and a lot more who used to come down here and speak. And it's been going for a very long time, over 100 years. And it used to be a place where someone who was going to be hanged had their last word. They can actually say their last words and kind of say their word to the public. Even lesbians' rights, gay rights, and a lot of black rights and stuff like that, workers' rights, Reformation leagues and stuff like that. They all came down here, and I mean, it changed over the years. I suppose in the 50s it was more to do with kind of workers' rights, unemployment and stuff like that. Maybe some racial issues and stuff. But as you can see, it's changed even more so now. And as you can see, there's a lot of people here filming. It's become a place of interest, great interest globally. And it's kicked off a kind of trend. There's a lot of Speakers' Corners, not just in London, there's some outside of London, and as well as that around the globe in places which you wouldn't even think of, like Malaysia, San Francisco and a lot more other places. So it seems to be something that the public needs, It's a good place to express and let off that steam. And they do really well here because you have a lot of people from different cultures and backgrounds actually, having these really sensitive debates, but not coming to blows.
Especially with technology as well.
Well, technology's playing a big role in this. Everybody, like myself, I'm starting to post these debates online, and it's generating a lot of interest immediately, which is really good because, I mean, if you don't live in the area, or you've got to come down from quite far. I mean, one of the speakers, for instance, like Shabir, lives like 200 miles away up north, and he kind of arranges on YouTube and says, yeah, I'm going to be down here on a certain date. So, you can come down and catch him. And if you don't catch him, you can always, watch the debate on YouTube. So, you can sit down at your leisure and enjoy a debate and listen to the details and even pass your comments as well. So, I think the technology's played a big part, and some people are using it to advantage. Some are doing mashups, taking people's videos and posting comments on top of their videos, saying, oh, this is wrong, and adding subtitles and stuff like that. So it's taking this crazy meta level, and the furious threads of comments which go back and forth is intense as well. It's sometimes comical. I get caught up in it sometimes as well. But it's all fun for me. I enjoy it. I think I think that people enjoy it to a certain degree as well. And as well as that, they can always come down and engage. It's like two different experiences, you know. Being here is a different experience, but you know, you may observe and listen a bit more. But when you go home and you watch the actual debate, if you disagree, you have the opportunity to actually rebut in the comment box and say what you want and how you feel without being too in anybody's faces. That's a good thing. A lot of views over a very short span of time, and that's the interest that it generates. And I don't know if it's to do with the time, you know, the fact that religion's playing a big role, or people are questioning a lot of things and looking for answers, and that's why it's becoming quite a popular kind of place, and kind of push more of the reform kind of arguments or speakers to the side. And people are looking for this truth of some sort, and I think people come down here for that kind of answer, and as well as to see the engagement of the speakers.
I'll tell you what, I'm interested to know your thoughts, because I think, 50 years ago, religion was a personal thing. It was a personal faith. People never used to propagate it as much. Well, maybe that's my understanding. Do you think the advent of technology, video camera, the instantaneous way of, sharing it with social media, has played a part in where people are more thirsty, more outgoing about their faith and wanting to propagate it?
I think the anonymity of the web helps them to explore more, as well as the access of information and the sharing of information. Expands people's minds immediately. I mean, when you find out some new information or find out something you haven't heard before, you can actually go and research it and get more information, go deeper into it. So it definitely plays a big role in development amongst people who go online and try and engage or do engage with this stuff. And I mean, I've learned a lot. I've dug into things. Some of the responses, have taught me a lot from all the different faiths. I mean, I'm really interested in the Sikhs faith right now. I like their approach and their ideology. So I'm glad they're down here. I'm going to have another word with them to actually find out a bit more about their faith. But there's loads of interesting angles and there's loads of interesting people. I mean, I learned quite a bit from Shabir as well, in terms of how the translation of the Quran to English is slightly different in some books, and that's an education in itself. I enjoy it. I'm a person who loves learning, Sophist.
Okay. All right, and the bigger question is, why do you come here? Why do you do this? Why do you do the recording? Why do you have a camera? Well,
the camera thing, I've always been into film and camera kind of technology, and I've been an editor for a long time. I always had an interest in film and TV production. I've been an art director and I've worked in productions and films and stuff like that, behind the camera and in front of the camera as well as extra and all that. But I would say Nick Bloomfield, the single journalist man who done the Heidi Fleiss kind of expose, and he done, I think, the Biggie Smalls and Tupac documentary. I like his style of journalism. I like that raw kind of format of journalism, digging for the truth and stuff. And he's very kind of I would say disarming kind of approach to journalism, the way he goes about it. It's very Louis Theroux, I would say, in that kind of sense. And I also like, kind of using technology to kind of express this. And I got the other side of things where I've always been interested in ancient history and different histories. I've always been a kind of seeker of truth. So it has a twofold kind of reason why I'm down here. And plus, you know, I come down as well to socialise with some people I see from time to time. It's quite a different kind of routine to the whole week. It's a refreshing break sometimes, you know, just to come down there and relax. It's around the park, you know, and you can engage or not. You know, it's a great place to be, especially with the camera.
I do admit, I do look forward to Sundays. I never used to. Nowadays.
As sad as it is.
It is.
I'm like telling my wife, okay, I got a couple more hours and I'm going down to Speaker's Corner with my camera. And, you know, I get some footage, which is good, and as well I get to chill and hang out. I think it's a good place. It's not a nightclub, you know, it's not a bar or anything like that, so, but you get the same kind of, I suppose, rewarding feeling when you come down and you go home. And, you know, and then you check it out on YouTube as well. It's really good. You say, oh, well, I was there, you know, when that happened.
I'll tell you what, the thing that endeared me to you, before I met you, I saw you on one of Shabir Yusuf's videos, All Truth Revealed, and you were known as the sincere seeker of truth. And you just mentioned that a couple of minutes ago.
Without a doubt, I'm totally sincere to truth. I am a slave to the truth. I detest lies. So whatever truth, be it in whatever religion, which I believe that most religions have some form of the truth, you know, it's all part of the puzzle. So, you know, I kind of try and discover what and where it lies, and you know, that's just me. You know, I'm just that way. You know, I love the truth because nothing to do with the truth setting you free. It's a good feeling. It's something which I'm a kindred spirit to, and that's what, you know, I'm drawn to.
I commend you. It's a very commendable attribute to have, because I think, especially with Speaker's Corner, there are a lot of regulars who do come for, without sounding harsh to them, other purposes, other, you know,
I would
intentions.
Say, I think that you have a lot of people who come to either push their cause, or some people come to be more of a star or a YouTube star to get their YouTube numbers up and stuff like that. Some definitely come for more contention. Some people come just to prove that this religion's a bit more stupider than this religion, or these people are more ignorant than those people. And, you know, I'm not here to score any points. This ain't about point scoring for me, and life's not about scoring points. It's about being, you know, just dealing with the truth and you know, and accepting the truth, wherever it is and whatever it is. If they said the truth was in the Quran and I discovered that and I believed that and knew it, then I would go with it. I would accept it. If they said it was in Christianity, I would go with it. If they said it wasn't, I would go with it. It's something which I think is unchangeable, and something which I can really rely on at all costs. And the truth is accountable for itself, you know, and it's as simple as that. And so, you know, that's how I see it. And I tend to like to be more accountable for everything I do. I don't like to blame anything else but, you know, my own actions as well. So, you know, it's speaking to Shabir was interesting.
Do you know the video I'm talking about?
Of course, I remember it very clearly. I mean, you know, Shabir's a difficult person to talk to at times. Very tricky to get him to agree with you in certain things, but
he does it in a nice way.
He does it in a nice way. He's very respectful. Yeah. So it's a good conversation in that kind of sense. And I'm not going to try and put someone down or try and score a point if we're just having a good conversation and, you know, we respect each other's time in terms of speaking and not talking over each other and shouting at each other and stuff like that.
Quite a lot of insight. I mean, any final words? Not that you're on your deathbed or anything, but just coming to the end of the show. Something to laugh about.
You got any change, Governor?
I'll give you some change. Change your jacket.